That they were worried about, so they had to come back to the school and teach people how to actually supposedly, we'll see. They didn't really explain what they wanted. It's still freaking Go ahead, anytime you're ready, let's start.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Podbros, and it's Monday.
Indeed.
I don't know about you, but we had a great weekend.
Are you saying that to me, or are you saying that to the audience?
The audience.
Are you talking about the royal we?
Who's the royal we?
You said, I don't know about you, but we had a great weekend.
I have to wee? Is that the royal wee?
Are you just implying that I had a great weekend?
I have to pee.
Or are you just saying
I'm
we,
stuck,
as in
I have to pee.
As in we had a great weekend? How about you, peons? I had a great weekend. We had a great weekend.
Podbros had a fantastic weekend.
So are
You
you?
peons probably had not a good. No.
So are you?
There's no peon. None of our fans or listeners are peons.
But you said we though. Were you talking about both of us?
We had a great weekend.
So you're implying that I had a great weekend.
Absolutely.
Well, I find that very offensive.
Why?
What if I had a terrible weekend?
Did you have a terrible weekend?
No, but that's not the
Well,
point.
there you go then. Oh, anyway, welcome back from the weekend. We're Podbros, a production of Sound Bros Productions. We didn't think out the name Sound Bros Productions before we decided to call it Sound Bros Productions.
Why?
So that it's a production of Sound Bros Productions, which is redundant.
No.
From the Department of Redundancy Department.
It's a production of Sound Bros Productions. We do productions, and so it's a production of Sound Bros Productions.
How many times are we going to say productions in this? So, I was informed the other day that when the worst type of, because we're going to start Monday this way, the worst type of...
Wait, are we starting?
We've been started.
No, you didn't talk about all the stuff that we're on, though.
Oh, I forgot. iTunes, Podbean, soon Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube.
We're on YouTube, right?
We are on YouTube, but YouTube decides which ones they want to automatically upload. So there's only like 6 episodes that are uploaded. And they're random.
But we are up there, though.
But we are up there, and we are going to add more in. But first, before we talk about anything else, I want to talk about the worst type of seepage. And that's frothy seepage.
I thought we already talked about this.
We talked about frothy and we talked about seepage, but we didn't talk about frothy seepage.
You said frothy seepage.
I never said frothy seepage. I was talking about frothy, and I was talking about seepage, and then as I was discussing this with a friend of mine over the weekend, I was informed that the worst...
quote,
strong air quotes, yes. The worst type of frothy seepage...
Oh, we're talking about the worst type of frothy seepage.
The worst type of frothy seepage
is
when you go and you get a latte. And it's frothy on top. And the barista doesn't know what they're doing. And they don't put the lid on right.
Oh, yeah, and it comes out.
And you get frothy seepage
all over your
out
hand.
Of your cup.
Oh, yeah, that is the worst.
It is the worst kind.
By far.
It is the worst kind.
Yep.
So, to everybody out there, if you're a barista... figure it out.
Well, if you're a barista, just first of all, we're sorry.
Why? Being a barista is not that bad.
Well, you probably have spent a lot of money on a degree in art history.
In art history.
Probably a bachelor's degree. You probably got a nose ring, so we're sorry about that too.
No, hey. I like nose rings.
No.
On ladies.
No. Don't misunderstand.
Oh, no, not the stud.
I'm not talking about like a stud or
You're
even like a ring.
You're talking an actual ring that goes around?
I'm not even talking about that.
Oh, the one in the middle?
I'm talking about one of the ones that's in the middle.
Oh, no, that's the worst. The one that looks like a cow?
And it's either a full ring or it's a stud on either side.
That kind of hangs down, that looks like a booger?
So it's got like one on each side. or the one that's got like the spike on each side.
So I used to be a bouncer, and those were my favorite guys to pick a fight in the club.
I'm just joking. People like that aren't baristas. People with regular nose rings are baristas.
No, people like that are hipsters.
Yeah, that's true. They are. Unfortunately, hipsters have been invaded by that kind of nose piercings.
Yeah, it's
and then the cheek gauges. Ugh, terrible.
Gauges?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Where like you can see into their teeth?
Yeah.
Oh dear
It's
goodness.
gross. And I think they do tongue gauges too. This just got really awkward.
Where did we go? Why are we here?
Because you...
How you in Korea?
Yeah,
I
thank
miss you.
So I was saying that I feel bad for baristas because they spend a lot of money on a crappy degree that's in art history.
And then suddenly we got into gauges and piercings and all sorts of
So
everything.
anyway, I'm just saying.
You know what? God loves you either way.
That's true. But you probably should have gotten a degree in, like, I don't know, anything other than art history.
Anything other.
Especially a bachelor's degree. Why would you get a bachelor's degree? Some teacher somewhere was like, when I went to college 50 years ago,
I wish.
they had an art history degree and I took it. And it was terrible. And I rethought my whole life and became a teacher.
Let's do that again.
Let's do it again.
Good grief. Good grief. I don't know where to go.
I think the only thing that you can do with an art history degree is teach art history.
And perpetuate the cycle.
It's like
this isn't the circle of life. This is the circle of death.
Yes. It's like a perpetual circle, and they draw baristas and hipsters into it. It's like this big vortex that draws them in.
I want to go to school.
What do you
really? What for?
What are you feeling? Art history.
Art history? Bro. Me, bro.
Right,
how loud was that in the recording? Because my ear is killing me right now. Oh, we are sorry to everyone that we just overbroed you.
Anyway, so all this to say that the art history degree did not help with the frothy seepage at all.
I can't even right now.
Whew. OMG, I just can't even.
OMG, I can't even. So we are going to have, looking forward, since Acronite is over, which, by the way...
we could talk about Acronite before we continue.
Acronite was pretty awesome.
Because I had fun at Acronite.
I had a blast.
I hung out with Santa, actually,
did you?
the whole time.
I hung out with the Phantom.
Did you?
I did. Yeah. He's a cool guy, the Phantom there. He's a buddy of mine. We're going to have him on the show one of these days. Eventually.
Yeah, actually, I was hanging out with Santa, and I kept having people ask me why I wasn't doing it. And I said, well, clearly I'm not Santa.
Yeah, my beard's the wrong color.
Well, I could have dyed my beard white.
That is true.
And I am Nick.
You are.
And I am a Christian,
but you're not
technically
a saint.
Speaking, I am a saint.
Oh, there it is.
So I technically am Saint Nick.
Ooh.
And I am fairly jolly.
Fairly.
Well, I say that because Santa technically is...
A bee, Scott?
Yes, thank you. The reason I say that is because Santa isn't actually completely jolly.
No, he's not.
He's only fairly jolly because he puts people on the run list.
And he does he gives out coal, and you get coal in your lump of stocking.
In your lump of stocking.
Yeah. my stockings are lumps.
Clearly you did not go to school at all.
I have tiny little feet. Clearly.
You didn't even get an art history degree.
No, I didn't. I started with a general ed, and it didn't work out.
Did your advisor? Well, I mean, this isn't working out. Have you considered art history?
Have you considered? No,
I hear there's a lot of possibilities in that field.
I had the other thing. I sat down with my counselor, and they said, I was going to suggest art history, but I think suicide might be a better option for you.
I mean, your options are teaching art history, being a barista with a nose ring,
or just death. Just go with death.
Oh, death!
Oh, death!
So
You, cake or death? Cake, please.
I didn't think we would have such a run on cake.
We only had 3 bits. I didn't expect such a rush. Oh, horrible. A horrible comedian, but really funny stuff.
Indeed. Well,
actually, it's not horrible. It's just awkward.
No,
it's awkward.
That bit was funny, and that's the only bit actually I've ever seen of him. So,
well, he has some other stuff. He does a whole bit on Hitler and how much of a mass murdering. He uses some colorful language, which we won't use here because we're a family-friendly show.
Indeed.
Anyway, he about Hitler being and then he talked about Pol Pot's. That's actually a really fun one. I've quoted that one to you. How if you murder that many people, it's basically what he says is at a certain point.
Which Pol Pots are we talking about here?
The murderer. Is it Pol Pot's?
It's not Pol Pot's.
What's the guy's name?
I don't remember what his name is, but it's not Pol Pot's. Pol Pot's is a opera singer from England.
Yes, so not that guy.
No, I just wanted to clarify.
Not the opera singer from England. Anyway, this comedian talks about, so if you murder one person, it's very bad. If you murder 10 people, oh, naughty. But at a certain point, if you murder like 100 or more, it's kind of like we're impressed. It's like, oh, it's very, very good. How did you, murder your own people? That's fine. Murder someone else, then we have an issue, And so it's, how does your schedule look? How does your schedule look when you're murdering that many people, right? Like,
we're talking about murder right now.
Yeah, we're talking about murder. Hang on,
on a family friendly show.
I mean, they've all been caught. Ish.
I'm just saying.
Should we not? I thought it was funny.
This is one of those moments.
Death, lunch. Fine. Anyway, I thought it was funny.
I mean, I hate to rain on your parade like that, but...
Well, it wasn't that great of a parade, so it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I'm good. Right. I thought it was funny.
What should we do now?
Lunch! I'll go if lunch is provided. Once again, they'll go where? A funeral.
Hey.
Anyway.
It's better than talking about killing people wholesale.
We said all that to say this. This can be...
Who is this we?
Would you stop with the we stuff? You are a part of we. This is Podbros. It's not Pod Dude.
But we did not start talking about comedians that make jokes about death.
Actually, you did. You started this. You started it. You said cake or death first. You did.
Yeah, but that's the only bit I've ever seen.
Play the tape back.
That is the only clip I've ever heard. But
you started talking about a comedian that was talking about death.
Cake
or death.
I was making a joke, and we were going to move right past it. And you're like, no, let's stay here. Oh, stop the car, kids. Let's get out and eat at this restaurant. This is a great restaurant. Let's eat at this restaurant. Honey, I don't know about this restaurant. I don't know. This looks sketchy. No, it's good. No, I've eaten here before.
Okay, first off,
they're great.
First off,
they're great. Come on, kids, let's go.
First off, I don't sound like that.
Let's go inside.
My wife doesn't sound like that. And third, I don't have any children. Okay? Oh, and that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day that we're not ever going to talk about.
Right, let's move on.
Moving on. Good grief. Anyway.
The awkward pause that you guys just heard where we said moving on was a part I just edited out. So just FYI. All right, let's continue.
The whole thing. Just the whole thing. It is the Christmas season. Some people don't have the greatest time at the Christmas season. And they deal with some heavy depression. If you're one of those people, surround yourself with people that love you, and if you don't have anybody that loves you, drop us a line on our Facebook page at Sound Bros, and we love you. We care about you. So it's a good time of year. So anyway, I have a lighter note joke. Can I tell a joke? Would that be okay?
Okay.
Since we were laughing, and then we got dark, and then we're trying to get back to laughing again, right? I mean, how far are we in on this? Like 5 minutes? Maybe 10?
A few minutes.
It went dark quick.
At least 6.
On a scale.
6.
On a scale. Okay. So a girl named Darling had a particularly rough childhood because of her uncommon name. She always got a lot of teasing at school. Eventually, she overcame her hang-up and married her high school sweetheart. When their first child was born, she named the baby girl Love, inspired in the same spirit as her unique name. Unfortunately, Love grew up and endured much of the same teasing that Darling did because of her strange name. She came home from school one day and screamed at her dad, asking why he had given her such a stupid name. Dad took the blame to protect his wife and apologized. In a fit of rage, Love shot him with a dart gun and ran away. Minutes later, Darling came home and saw her husband lying on the ground. "What happened?" she asked, running to him. He waved her closer and whispered, "Shot with a dart, and you're to blame. Darling, you gave Love a bad name." Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Man. Wow. That was good. That was really good. I'm trying to put it together in my head while you're telling it.
Right,
It's like,
right.
how's this going to work? How's this going to work? That's good.
Oh, man. So.
Gosh.
Shot with a dart.
Okay.
That was good. That was good. Okay.
That was good.
Upcoming events for us. Well, the big one. Christmas is next week.
Well, I mean, if you really think that's a big deal.
I kind of do.
I guess.
So, are we doing anything for Christmas?
Do we ever do anything for Christmas?
We always do something for Christmas.
Oh, wait. We always do the same thing for Christmas, which is awesome and amazing and the best thing ever.
No. I meant is Podbros, is our podcast
Or are we doing anything for Christmas?
doing anything for Christmas?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Should we do something for Christmas?
Maybe.
What should we do?
A radio production.
Ooh.
Maybe a retelling of a popular story.
Or a new telling of a
popular story. We could,
or
could do
an original story in the universe of a popular story.
We could do something of a prequel, even.
Ooh, I like that idea. That'll be fun. So,
we shouldn't tell anyone what the name of it is.
No, we shouldn't.
Or anything else about it.
Or anything else. We should just allude to it.
We should just allude to it like this for the rest of the podcast.
It's Christmassy.
Well, it's Christmassy.
And it's
and we have talked about
stuff.
This universe.
Universe, very good.
Before. Yes. Which is still kind of leaving it very vague since we've talked about a lot of universes on this.
We have.
It's
yes.
good. So yeah, we might do something along those lines.
I think maybe if we get there.
Maybe
we are still working on getting
maybe it'll be something special next week.
Maybe.
We'll do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so something else that is coming up for us here on Podbros is that we will have a special guest this Friday.
Oh, that's right, we will.
Yeah. So our friend Eric is going to be here, and he's going to join us here in the studio, and we are going to talk about. I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
The same things we always talk about.
Stuff and junk. Actually, it is Star Wars Friday, so we may actually discuss some more Star Wars.
We'll talk about Star Wars.
And
we'll probably do some epic topic about Christmas.
We should we'll probably talk about the new Jumanji movie.
Oh yeah,
because we saw that with Eric.
We did.
So
we'll save that till then.
We'll save that for then. Yeah. So that'll be a fun conversation there with our friend Eric. So coming up Friday, our friend Eric. We will eventually have our friend Casey on the show from Montana, but
isn't he lost?
It's a matter of when he is ever in town.
But he's lost in Montana, though.
He's not lost.
But the bumper sticker says "Get lost in Montana," so
I still don't understand what that bumper sticker means.
It has to do with all of the trails and all of the stuff you can do there. I hear it's a pretty epic state.
Because it's so epic?
Yeah.
I think we should actually visit Casey and do the podcast from up there.
That would be cool, too.
What do you think? Okay, so we got to hear back from you, Casey, on that one. If you want us to do that, we'll do that. And we'll come at you. And we'll do a live show. How about that? We'll do a live show from Montana.
Show from Montana. That'd be cool.
That would be fun. So that's the cool part about all of this setup that we have is it's very easily moved.
Yep.
And transported. What else do we got going on?
We got the weather. We can talk about the weather.
We do have the weather. We are still working on getting our Patreon up there. Drop us a line on the Podbean and let us know if we are to get the Patreon up and running, would you be a supporter? Mm-hmm. You know, that'll kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at here. So we can get this thing rolling and get the studio up and built and do some theatrical productions. Yep. Or, as we've alluded to, some radio theatrical productions. You know,
indeed.
Those are always fun. So, yeah, why don't
we... Let's do the weather.
Why don't we do the weather?
So,
and while you're doing the weather, I'm going to be reading this over here. So
it is 39 degrees right now. It's clear. There isn't actually... I didn't see any clouds driving here today. There might be a couple clouds, but it's mostly clear. And it's going to stay that way until Wednesday, it looks like. It's going to start getting cloudy, and then it's going to probably clear up a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be kind of wintry, typical wintry cloudiness. You know, typical weather here. The high today was 43, and the low tonight is going to be 18. So it's going to get pretty cold tonight. And then it's going to get a little warmer. Actually, the days are not going to be any warmer. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that. Wednesday and Thursday have the same high, 48 degrees. But different lows, though. So, looks like by Friday it'll be about 55 degrees will be the high. So, it'll be nice and cool. Not too crazy cold, because obviously it'll be, you know, good weather. Ooh, it looks like, I'm looking at the long-term forecast here. It looks like they're predicting heavy cloud coverage on Sunday this coming week. So, who knows? We might be in for a white Christmas.
Ooh, it's been a while since we've had a white Christmas.
2016, I think, was when the last time we had a white Christmas.
Did we actually have a white Christmas that year?
We did. There was, yeah, remember? We've talked about this.
Yep.
So, that
was a special year.
But I think before that, though, I think it was like maybe 20 years.
Yeah, it was a while. It was a good while.
It was a good chunk of time.
It was a good while.
So,
have you ever?
Also, I would like to mention that the weather that was forecasted over the weekend did not happen. There was no rain or snow.
There was no rain or snow. It was windy.
It was windy, and there was actually
it's windy today.
There was actually a few pockets of rain that happened, here and there, like little tiny spots where a cloud got thick enough to rain, but it was nothing that was anything that was quantifiable.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the wind is actually. Where's the wind? I just saw it.
Apparently, the wind is gone.
14 miles an hour right now.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, the wind is taking the 39 degrees Fahrenheit and making it feel like 31 degrees.
Oh, that's fun. Yes.
So, yeah, there's usually a spread of anywhere from 7 to 12 degrees on the wind chill factor.
Not bad. So, not bad.
If it gets really cold, like tonight when it's down at 16, if the wind is still up pretty high, you're talking about down in the 10s.
Oh, wow.
10, 9, 8 degrees.
That's uncomfortable.
With the wind chill. So that's you know, bundle up, make sure you're going out today, or actually if you go out any day during the week at nighttime, make sure you're well protected, because that wind is brutal. It's not so much the cold, it's the wind.
Yeah, the wind,
and it gets a lot of people. There's a lot of people that move here from other areas, where it's more humid during the winter time.
Right.
And they're shocked by our winters because of how cold it gets here. Because the wind just blows.
It's
that desert style cold, where it's cold and there's no reason for it. It's just cold.
Yep.
So,
but you know what? We love it. I love it.
I do.
I mean, I love the cold. I prefer the cold over the summer, over the heat any day of the week.
Yep.
So we've been discussing here on Podbros. We, as in Nick and I, have been discussing whether or not we want to do a live version of this show. And we're thinking that probably in the afternoons.
Yeah, I think so.
So, give us some feedback. Let us know what a good time that you would be willing to listen to a live show would be. We've had some feedback from a couple friends of ours already that were like, I'm looking for something in the last part of the day on the kind of the drive home type thing, or
end of the day
or
work.
the end of the day work type thing, where it's like, the day's kind of chilled out and we need something, that little bit of a laughy pick me up to kind of make me laugh.
You home.
Listen to somebody start discussing a topic that shouldn't be discussed, and they get yelled at by someone else for it. That typical stuff.
Fun stuff.
So, yeah. So I had a fun experience the other day. I was at Walmart.
Yeah.
And I'm short.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to find a Walmart employee to help you get something off the top shelf?
Wait.
When you can't reach?
Stop. Go back. What you meant to say was, do you know how hard it is to find a Walmart employee?
And just stop there?
And just stop there.
Because they don't exist.
Because, seriously.
They are mythical creatures.
I don't get it. When I used to work at Walmart, it was magical how people could find me. Like, people would just, show up and they're like, a Walmart employee. And I'm like, there's 20 of us in the store.
Yeah. How are you not able to find me?
How is this such a difficulty? And then they're like, do you know where this is? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's over here. And then they're like, oh, I talked to 3 other employees and they didn't know where it was. It's like, they work over here. There's a guy stocking it right now.
So Walmart employees are like magical unicorns?
Yes, they're completely useless.
They are completely useless. If you're a Walmart employee, you're completely useless.
And if you're a unicorn, I'm sorry for comparing you to a Walmart employee.
Completely useless Walmart employee. So
I will say though.
So we no, you know what? No, we do. We have to make this an official. This is an official apology to unicorns.
It is.
Okay.
Because I was just thinking about this. Unicorns are not useless.
No.
Because in Stardust.
Oh, yeah.
The unicorn saves the star's life.
Yep.
And then kills the goat.
Yep.
And saves them.
Unicorns are pretty awesome.
And then in the last
battle.
Speaking
of Stardust, that was a great movie.
In the last battle of the Chronicles of Narnia book, Jewel is the king's horse, who's a unicorn. And he's pretty BA.
Yeah,
absolutely. And by BA, I mean he's ridiculously BA. And they do some serious battle together. So, yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, we're sorry to unicorns.
Yeah.
If you're a Walmart employee, you're not getting an apology.
Because you deserve every last bit of that.
God, we're horrible. Burger King. Right? I want to talk about Burger King.
Let's talk about Burger King in a minute and 30 seconds.
That's all the time we have?
No. Just stop talking for a minute and 30 seconds. I was hoping that you would pause, but you didn't, so you ruined it. It's actually at the bottom of the hour. That's why I said
okay. That. You told me to stop talking for a minute and 30 seconds. I didn't understand. I'm lost.
I figured that if we waited a minute and 30 seconds, we'd be past, the hour.
The hour. Okay.
Start talking about Burger King. So it's the bottom of the hour.
So,
Podbros.
Podbros, production of Sound Bros.
Unicorns.
Podbean. iTunes.
So anyway, this is Podbros. A production of Sound Bros Productions.
We're having a good day today. So, who is your favorite actor? Do you have a favorite actor?
Who's my favorite actor? I think we've talked about this before.
Have we?
And I think I said the same thing I said before. I don't have a favorite actor.
Yeah, I really don't either. Although I did hear about, and I'm trying to, I need to find the article for it so we can talk about it. But I'm going to allude to it a little bit. Apparently, John Wick 4 and The Matrix 4 are going to be released the same day. Starring
Keanu Reeves.
The same guy.
That's cool.
And then
I read the same story?
Probably.
Mind blown.
Tau Blue.
Baby powder?
Baby powder.
Hey, bro.
I thought we were vibing.
Sorry, bro. Thought we were vibing.
If you haven't seen Storks, is that Storks? You need to watch Storks. That's
Steam room in an elevator. Mind blown.
Why are you being so creepy, man? Yeah, so
how do you like me now?
How do you like me now? I like live action
let's
movies.
Talk about,
but
let's talk about that
like
movie.
Animated movies.
Can we talk about that movie? I want to talk about that movie for a minute.
Storks?
Because the first time I watched it, I kind of skipped through it. Was like, this is kind of funny.
Okay, the first time I watched it, it was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
So I skipped through it. And I'm like, all right, I better watch this whole thing. So I'm watching through it, and I'm just dying laughing. And then I would go back and like watch my favorite parts of it over and over and over again. So I'm telling Luke constantly, like, you've got to watch this. And so, like a total noob, he goes and watches it by himself, and he's like, that movie was dumb.
It was seriously the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
And I'm like, what do you mean it was dumb? What the heck, man? Okay, let's watch it again right now. And so we're watching it, and it's like within like the first...
Let's give some context. Okay, so we don't just do your typical sit and have a decent sized screen in your living room watching experience.
Right.
We are epic or nerdlings.
Yes.
And so we like to do like the screening room type thing.
Yeah.
So basically a movie theater, right? So over 100-inch screen, full surround sound, dual 18s for subs. I mean, it's an experience.
Which isn't necessarily necessary for Storks, but
it made it better.
We're sitting there, and we're watching it, and it's like within the first 5 minutes they start with the comedy, and I'm just like, I'm laughing and looking at Luke, and Luke's looking at me like, oh, this is actually funny.
So I think what made it funny was watching them do stupid and watching you lose it on stupid. And so I was laughing at both. And now, every time we think of that movie, when he's sitting in the jacuzzi with the diaper, I just see your face.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
And the guy and the monkey. Why are you being so creepy, man?
Sorry, bro. Thought we were vibing. No, I was not your friend.
I'm actually crying right now. It's so funny.
It was that for me. It was that first scene where he lands. Actually, it's when the plane flies past. The very beginning when he's like talking about facing all the odds of the baby is like beating the crap out of the stork. Yeah, and then he's flying and this airplane goes flying past. He's like, thank goodness we don't do that anymore. It's like, what is
happening right now? Oh my gosh.
Hey bro, you see a picture of my girlfriend? She migrated from Alaska. She's totally real.
Well, it's just that character too. It's Pigeon Toady. He's hysterical. He's so funny. He's just the little like cool.
Very cool.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. So yeah, but there's other movies like that have that character. Mulan. Mushu.
Oh, yeah.
Mushu is
Mushu and the magic
Mushu
cricket.
and the cricket.
Or in the lucky cricket. Wait, you
in
a lucky cricket? You lied to me.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Can I just say this while we're talking about Mulan?
Yes.
I am not looking forward to the new Mulan.
You know what? And I've said this before.
I know.
All they had to do is not name it Mulan.
Yeah,
because it's going to be a great story, and it's going to be an epic. It's going to be a
kung fu
epic. It's not Mulan.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just, don't...
Well, here's my question. Why would
it.
you take a story that was a musical, which is your MO, and not make it a musical?
Because the last musical they did totally fell on its face.
Which was?
Lion King.
Because they didn't do what they should have done with it.
Well,
you tried to keep it the same, but changed all the actors.
Yeah, and you...
Use the same actors. It's all voice acting anyway.
You lost the dynamic. You completely lost the dynamic. You want to change a few parts? You want to make it a little bit more epic?
I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, Scar will always be played by Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. And he is... And for as much as I like... What's his name? The other guy.
James Earl Jones?
No. Not James Earl Jones. The guy who played Scar in the new one.
Oh, darn it.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
He plays a great villain.
Yeah, no, there's no question there. But Scar is
a classic
It's a type of villain.
He's the over the top villain. It doesn't work if he's not the over the top villain.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It is. Help me here.
I don't remember.
It's and he is a phenomenal villain. He's also a phenomenal good guy.
Yeah.
He's just a great actor. It's the same guy who played the bad guy in one of my all-time personal favorite movies, Serenity.
Oh yeah, that's definitely on my list of all-time best movies.
It's at the definitely at the top of that list. And I have the hardest time pronouncing his name, which is why I never remember it. Mm-hmm. It's Chiwetel Ejiofor. I don't know how to say his name. Anyway, he's a phenomenal actor.
He was also.
I actually saw him in a really unique.
He was in Doctor Strange. Also,
he was in Doctor Strange. Yep, I've seen him in a number of things. He's played a myriad of characters that are just you wouldn't expect him to be, and he does a great job.
He was. What was it? I was just watching what he was in. He played a really good character. Whatever. Everything he does is good, except for, of course, Lion King, which was just...
Well, and he did a good job.
Yeah, but it wasn't...
But it wasn't a Lion
Scar.
King.
He wasn't the villain Scar. He was some other villain.
He was not the right Scar, I think is the best way to put it. So...
But what I'm saying is that Scar... The character of Scar is so ridiculously over the top, and that's why it works.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work if Scar wasn't ridiculous and over the top. And what's funny is that since they re-released The Lion King, they released a bunch of stuff that original plot ideas. And one of the original plot ideas was that Scar doesn't trick him and doesn't trick Mufasa and kill him. He actually defeats him because he's actually stronger than him.
So he actually kills
He actually
Mufasa.
kills and then tries to kill...
Simba.
And
Simba gets away.
And then Simba gets away and grows up and comes back and defeats him.
Oh, that's a great story.
But they decided that it would work better if he was the more cunning, mischievous villain.
Because that actually plays into Simba's growth.
Right, and it's
believing
much more,
that he killed his father.
It's much more dramatic when the truth is revealed.
Right.
And with villainy... And this happens all the time with villainy, is that they inevitably say something or do something at that wrong moment.
Right.
And they condemn themselves. And he,
And he did.
It was all the hyenas. And the hyenas heard it.
And then they kill him.
And justice was done.
Justice.
I'm Batman.
So,
I'm the tool of justice.
Have you been getting these phone calls?
The 800 number phone calls about my Social Security.
Yeah, all of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get about one or two a day.
I recently read something the other day. The problem with these phone calls is these people call the wrong people.
Yeah.
And so I have a transcript from one.
Oh, cool.
So let me read one here. So the person, hello, and it is it's not Microsoft support. It's a scam.
Right.
So hello, this is Bob Bobson from Microsoft support.
Bob Bobson.
We're seeing a lot of viruses activity on your device. The person, oh no, my device? Are you sure? The support guy. Oh yes, we've had many reports. The character. Oh geez, how can I fix it? Support. It's okay, sir. We can help you right now. Are you in front of your device? We'll just say me for now. Yes. I was just about to use it. I'm glad you called. The support. Yes, sir. We're going to help you. Can you please push the start button? Me. I think it's already on. Support. Okay, sir. Now you want to click the control panel. Me. I don't see that. Support. Do you see a bunch of information above the start button? Me. Yes. Support. This is the control panel. Me. Wow, I didn't realize it had a name. Support. Yes, sir. Now press on internet options. Yeah, I definitely don't see internet options. I don't think I purchased that feature. This is just a cheap one. Support. They all have the internet, sir. Press the start button again. Okay, it's the same as before. That's okay, sir. We're going to restart your device. Can you please turn it off? I don't know how. I've never turned it off. Since I bought it, it just kind of stays on all the time. Support. There must be an off button on your device. How do you stop it when it's running? In those cases, I usually press the big button beneath the stop cancel. Support. Okay, sir. Press that button. Okay. Is the device off? No. The door just popped open. Support. Door? Is there a disc inside the door? No. There's a burrito. Support. Why is there a burrito in your computer? Computer? I thought you said this was microwave support.
That's good. That's really good.
I love these. They make me...
So I've actually done this a couple of times when we used to work at the job we were at before. We started doing this.
We have actually dragged on conversations with these people.
I was the one who would do it. I would get the phone call. Inevitably, it was me. And I love taking these phone calls. Absolutely love them. Especially when it's a real person, because I got the automated ones, and it's like, well, this is no fun. I can't mess with anybody.
Right.
And so when we would get these calls from, I think it was from Apple support.
Yeah.
At work.
Right. Where,
Apple support. Strong air quotes here, guys.
Yeah.
And I had this one guy going, and I am working my way through this computer, and we got further past than this guy did. We actually got into the control panel and everything, and we're figuring stuff out. And I'm not sure exactly.
Let me.
I'm not sure exactly what the goal was.
Yeah, let me add into this. The best part about this is that if you know a computer like we know computers, as they're asking these questions, we can agree with them and mentally see what they're looking for and tell them the right answers to further the conversation.
No. The one conversation I actually was following along on the computer. Remember?
Were you really?
Yeah, remember?
I don't remember.
I think that was the second conversation. So I'm way into the control panel. I don't know what the exact terminology is, but it's for anyone who does any IT work. I'm at that point in the computer where you're actually putting in .exe commands.
Oh, command prompt.
Yeah, I'm in the command prompt doing direct commands for the computer. And so I'm like, I think it was probably like a good 10 minutes into the conversation. And he has me put in this command prompt, and it was that point where you're like, okay, this is the point at which I can't go any farther, because then they'll actually be able to access the computer because it's connected to the internet.
Right.
And so I like freak out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what just happened, but there's smoke pouring out of the back of the computer. And the guy on the other line, he's from India somewhere, and he let out some kind of Indian expletive. I don't know what it was, but I hung up. I was like, this has gone way too far. So,
good stuff.
Anyway, it was fun.
So, you heard about the priest and the taxi driver?
I have not heard about the priest and the taxi driver.
They both died.
Oh yeah,
and went to heaven, and so they're at the pearly gates, and St. Peter's welcoming them.
Peter's at the pearly gates?
He is, yeah. Thank you. I'm not going to say the name. I almost said the name. You almost got me to say the name. I can't say the name. We're on the air.
I know.
I'll get in trouble.
A dear relative
but
of ours.
You know who you are.
Wait, do they listen to us?
They might, actually.
Peter's at the pearly gates.
Our grandfather told a joke years ago about Peter being at the pearly gates, and there was a
dear beloved soul.
There was a lot of discussion that went along with it. Anyway, we're not going there. I literally almost just called you their name. I can't believe
I know, which is why I said it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for the taxi driver, a beautiful villa looking over a gorgeous field of clouds. Thank you, the ecstatic taxi driver said. And so the the anticipating an even bigger mansion, the priest was dismayed when they arrived at a small one-bedroom apartment. St. Peter, I'm a little puzzled, the priest began. As a clergyman, I devoted decades of my life solely to serving the Lord. How come the taxi driver got a villa for me, and for me, only a small apartment? Peter smiled and he goes, well, up here we usually go by results. While you preached, people were sleeping. And while he drove, people were praying.
Gosh. It's ridiculous.
So, little light humor. I like these religious jokes. They're kind of funny. They're not quite blasphemous. They're not blasphemous.
So what about a religious political joke?
Do I have any?
I have one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ooh, this should be good. So
this guy, he dies and goes to heaven. And he's at the pearly gates, and Peter lets him in. He's like before we go in, can I look around at the administration buildings? Because there's got to be administration. This heaven's a big place. There's got to be some administration here, and it's what I did on Earth. I was an administrator at church, and I took care of a lot of stuff, and I want to see how things work. And he's like, oh yeah, sure. So he's like, well, let me show you around. So he's walking, they're walking around, and he's showing them, accounting and personnel and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, this is great. So then they walk past this room, and it's got all these pictures. And it's got these like clocks under them, clock-looking things, and the guy's like, "What the heck is this room?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is like a counting room." And he's like, "Oh, what is it?" He's like, "Oh, these are people that are notorious for lying." And he's like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Yeah, every time that they lie, the hand goes around and it counts." He's like, "Oh," and he's looking around. He's like, he's seeing a lot of people that he recognizes, and he's like, yeah, definitely, yeah, wow. There's a ton of people in here. And then he's like, there's some people in here that I'm not seeing. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I don't see Hillary Clinton's in here at all. And he's like, oh, the big man's got that in his office. He uses it as a fan when it gets hot.
I love those jokes. They're my favorite. Oh, anything to do with Hillary Clinton and her insanity. You gotta wonder sometimes, I wonder if these people even know just how bad they really are.
I think they do.
I think so?
I think that in a certain extent, I think that they do. But I think at the same time,
is it one of those things where you're just too far deep and you can't get out?
I think what it is a lot of these people, it is, especially in the case of like the Clintons, it's all about power. They want power,
so it doesn't matter.
And it's the way you get to it. And so they don't view what they're doing as wrong. They view it as ends justify the means.
No, I guess that makes sense.
And so what they do, and this is how all humans justify the way they do things that are wrong. Right. They surround themselves by people that
are yes people
that are confirmation bias them.
Well, that's yeah.
And so you have all of these young indoctrinated college students that think that the world should be socialist,
right?
And that these people, these lofty, well-meaning people, are really concerned about the environment and about big business and about all these different things and about protecting our rights and having free education, when reality is they don't care about any of that. All they're interested in is power, and they're interested in getting power the easiest way possible. And the easiest way possible to get power is to give people free stuff.
Yep.
And make big bad enemies. I mean, that's everyone talks about Saul Alinsky and Rules for Radicals, but he didn't start that.
Right.
That was Hitler did that. Yeah. Hitler was the one who said, Hitler and Lenin and Stalin, they were the ones who, well, specifically Lenin and Hitler, but they were the ones who were like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You create an enemy.
Because they did it.
They did it. They succeeded.
And they did it successfully.
It's as terrible as their regimes were, they did it successfully.
Yeah.
And even Mao in China.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. You create an enemy.
Yeah. And it's too bad, too, because,
And that enemy is the reason for all your woes.
And once you've created that, then you can...
Then you just feed it.
You
feed that fire over and over and over again. And so all this terrible stuff that's happening, well, it's just their fault.
Yeah. Interesting.
And what's dangerous is that a lot of conservatives and a lot of people that are truly passionate about things, they get drawn into that, thinking, well, this is what we need to be doing. And the danger is that you get into the mindset that you think, well, we need an enemy, and we need to be doing all of these crazy things, and we can't have an enemy. We have to continue to do what's right. We have to do the right thing. We can't just, well, we're just going to do the same thing they're doing. No, we can't do that. It can't work that way, because they're manipulating people. And I don't want to manipulate people. I want people to know the truth. And the truth will set them free.
Right.
I don't need to manipulate someone. I don't need to make someone the enemy. The enemy is not other people. The enemy is the devil. The enemy is sin. And if I can help people see that and understand that, and if I can get people to see that they're lost and that they need a savior, the rest of the stuff, the rest of the little issues, those are taken care of separately. I mean, that's our founding fathers had a lot to say about that.
Yep.
And, I think that this is somewhere where we get distracted by, well, this is what they're doing, and so this is what we should do. And it's like, no. They're doing this because it's fake. They have to trick people into believing this lie.
Well, and because they're hunting for power, like we said.
And because people are hunting for truth.
And when you are hunting for power, you walk over anyone to get it.
Right. And when people are hunting for truth, they will, a lot of times, because we're fallen creatures, they will get deceived by the lie.
Yep.
And we need to give them not the lie. We need to give them the truth, because the truth will ultimately cut through the lie.
Yep.
So, tell your funny joke.
What funny joke?
The joke you were just telling.
No, I didn't want to tell that one.
You didn't
want
to tell that one?
No.
Okay. All right.
So, I don't know. Let's see. I think I have another one over here, but I haven't read through this one.
We've got like 3 minutes.
Okay.
So,
dinosaurs. 3 dinosaurs stumble across a magic lamp. They rub it, and a genie appears.
I'm ready.
I have 3 wishes, so I'll give one to each of you. The genie announces. The first dinosaur thinks hard. Already says, "I'll have a big juicy piece of meat." Instantly, the biggest, juiciest piece of meat he'd ever seen appears in front of him. Not to be outdone, the second dinosaur thinks even harder. I'll have a shower of meat. Immediately, huge pieces of meat rain down around him. The third dinosaur, certainly not to be undone, thinks harder than the previous. "I've got it," he cries. "I want a meteor shower." You got there before I got there.
I'm sorry, I ruined it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, there was that joke. Sorry.
So, a man is driving down the road and breaks down near a monastery. He goes to the monastery, knocks on the door, and says, "My car broke down. Do you think I could stay the night?" The monks graciously accept him, feed him dinner, even fix his car. As the man tries to fall asleep, he hears a strange sound. The next morning, he asks the monks what the sound was, and they say, "We can't tell you. You're not a monk." The man is disappointed, but thanks them anyway and goes about his merry way. Some years later, the same man breaks down in front of the same monastery. The monks accept him, feed him, even fix his car. That night, he hears the same strange noise that he had heard years earlier. The next morning, he asks what it is. The monks reply, "We can't tell you. You're not a monk." The man, all right, I'm dying to know. "If the only way I can find out what that sound is to become a monk, how do I become a monk?" The monk replies, "You must travel the earth and tell us how many blades of grass there are and the exact number of pebbles. When you find these numbers, you will become a monk." The man sets about his task. 45 years later, he returns, knocks on the door to the monastery. He says, "I have traveled the earth and found what you have asked for. There are 145,236,284,232 blades of grass. And there are... Jeez, hang on a second. 231 quadrillion, 281 trillion, 219 billion, 999,129,382 pebbles on the earth. Sorry, I had to count what the numbers were.
Okay.
The monks reply, "Congratulations, you are now a monk. We shall now show you the way to the sound." The monks lead the man to a wooden door, where the head monk says, "The sound is right behind that door." The man reaches for the knob. The door is locked. He says, "Real funny, may I have the key?" The monks give him the key. He opens the door. Behind the wooden door is another door made of stone. The man demands the key to the stone door. The monks give him the key, and he opens it, only to find another door made of ruby. He demands another key from the monks, who provide it. Behind that door is another door, this one made out of sapphire. So it went until the man had gone through doors of emerald, silver, topaz, and amethyst. Finally, the monks say, "This is the last key to the last door." The man is relieved to no end. He unlocks the door, turns the knob. Behind the door, he's amazed to find the source of the strange sound. But I can't tell you what it is, because you're not a monk.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
That suckered me in. I had no idea.
With that suckered in joke, I thought you would have figured it out by the time you got through the pebbles.
I should have.
Come on, man. You know where this is going.
I was too busy reading. I'm like Ron Burgundy. You can put anything in front of me if I'm on the air, and I'll read it. And it's very dangerous, and I'll read it, and I'll read it.
You'll read it. Well, with that being said, it's the bottom. It's the top of the hour.
It's the top of the hour now. Thank you for listening. This has been Podbros, a production of Sound Bros Productions.
Production.
Incorporated.
Production.
This has been Production Squared.
Or Cubed.
Or Cubed. Fancy. Production
Raised
pizza?
Eyebrows and everything.
Thanks for listening. It's been a fun Monday. We're on Podbean, Facebook, YouTube, soon to be Google Play and Spotify, and have a Patreon. We really appreciate you guys listening. We had fun today. Today was funny.
Share your friends with us.
Share us a
Drop
like.
likes on us.
Drop likes on us.
Drop likes on other people.
Make notes. Let us know, what we could talk about. If there's anything strange or funny.
Eat tacos and burritos.
Yes, eat tacos. Tacos are delicious. Although, I prefer Thai food over tacos. We should have a food show. We should do a food episode.
A food-isode?
Let's do a food-isode. I think that's it. Are we done? Am I just rambling at this point?
Yeah, I think we're done. Okay. I hope you guys learned something today.
Because if you're not learning...
You're dying.
And we want you to stay alive.